Yo, what's going on everybody? My name is Dominic and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be counting down my top 5 favorite TV shows of all time. If that sounds interesting, let's get right into the video. Hello everybody, my name is Dominic from Dominic Talks Movies, and I love to talk about movies. If you love that sort of stuff as well, you definitely should consider subscribing to my channel because I post movie content and TV content, stuff just like this, multiple times a week, so you're not going to want to miss any of these videos. But today I'm branching out a little bit. I don't usually talk about TV too often, but I wanted today to talk about my top 5 favorite shows, the ones that I'm more passionate about, because I'm not a massive TV guy. I am very passionate about a good few shows, but I'm not like someone who's seen everything, you know? I've seen a few shows and a lot of them I really like, but there still are shows that are really popular that I still have yet to see. So if you don't see shows like Breaking Bad, The Sopranos, Twin Peaks, that sort of stuff, like Star Trek, Game of Thrones, all of those shows I haven't yet seen. I've seen the first season of Breaking Bad and I didn't love it, so don't try and roast me too hard in the comments, but yeah, I haven't seen any of those shows. None of those are going to make the list, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm definitely going to start making some more TV content, especially some videos about my favorite show, which I'll get into later. But yeah, with that being said, let's hop right into the list. Now real quick, I want to give some honorable mentions to a few shows here. We got The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, The Queen's Gambit, and The Simpsons. Those are all shows I absolutely love and unfortunately couldn't quite crack my top 5, but don't get me wrong, I would have loved to include them on this list, and that's why they're here as honorable mentions. So Lost is one of 2 sort of dramatic shows on this list, and that is a big testament to how amazing this show really is. I think that this show is consistently phenomenal, I would say, until the last season or 2, because back at the back end of the show, things start to get, they started to run out of ideas, I think, a little bit, and they started to get really sloppy and weird. And I like how they ended off the show, but those last 2 seasons weren't very good. But besides that, those are some of the best episodes of television, honestly, ever. Like, this show is, quite frankly, absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen this show, you definitely should. There's some amazing mystery elements. There's some action parts. There's thriller, suspense, and it's honestly fantastic. There are some great performances from all of the lead characters, and they have such great chemistry, and they have some dialogue, some banter, and you really are rooting for these characters. You care for them. Some of them you don't like, and that kind of creates the tension and a lot of conflicts between the characters, and it makes for such a compelling show. And it's just absolutely crazy as everything starts to unfold, as they kind of make their way with more time on this deserted island, and it's just absolutely nuts. This show is phenomenal. One of the best shows I've ever seen. This is honestly might be the best show I've ever seen. It's just not necessarily my favorite. It's honestly just, it's so perfect, and I cannot gush about this show enough. But I don't want to get into too many spoilers, especially for people who haven't seen the show. So if you haven't, I highly recommend Lost. It is probably the best show I've ever seen. I wasn't too sure if I wanted to include this because it's more of a documentary sort of mini series, but I decided to include it because this is just absolutely amazing. If you don't know me, I love basically all sports, but basketball especially. I am a huge basketball fan. I think Michael Jordan is the best basketball player of all time, and the '96 Bulls are arguably the best team of all time. So naturally, this was a very compelling and interesting documentary series to me. But besides from that, it was like honestly a well-made documentary as well. They had great restored archive footage from back in the 90s when the Bulls, were playing, and that was all really cool. We got to see some behind the scenes stuff, some interviews from all the teammates and the coaches and the staff and all these like even basketball players that are playing today, and it was a super interesting show to kind of see what it was like to be on those teams on the Bulls back in the day. It was really interesting, and there was obviously some great highlights, some iconic Michael Jordan moments and clutch shots and stuff. So this was a really awesome and very immersive documentary that I would definitely recommend, specifically to basketball fans. This is definitely not a very popular opinion because out of the people I know that have seen this show, I don't think any of them really love this, and this is just a show that I adore. Like, there's not a lot of shows that when I think about so positively besides this one. It honestly is fantastic. I think if you ask me on a good day, this could probably be number 2 on my list because this is absolutely fantastic. I mean, I used to read these books back when I was a kid. I watched the movie. This is probably the best, I mean, maybe besides the books, but this is maybe the best A Series of Unfortunate Events content that there is out there. And that is saying a lot because I thoroughly enjoy basically everything to do with this story. You obviously got your main characters in Klaus, Violet, and Sonny Baudelaire, and obviously Count Olaf, and it's just super interesting, super tense, super immersive throughout the entire thing. It has some pretty decent technical elements, but that's not something I pay attention to really that much during this show. It is more about the characters and the story and the interactions, that sort of stuff that are in this show that really make me love it so much. I rewatched this show probably like 3 times. This is the very first show that wasn't able to like binge all the way through because like other shows that I've seen like Lost, by the time I started watching Lost, it had already gone through its entire lifespan. So I was able to binge through those quite frequently and quickly, where this, I started watching this as soon as it started. So I was able to watch the first season, but then I had to wait for season 2, and then I had to wait for season 3. And so I had huge anticipation for these seasons, and none of them disappointed me at all. They were all fantastic seasons, all equally as good as the other, and they were just so phenomenal. I cannot gush about this show enough. I absolutely adore this show. And honestly, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This isn't a show I would recommend to everyone, but there is a very specific audience that I would recommend. If you want to, you can go check it out, because I'm not like trying to scare you away from it, but I would say there's quite a specific audience that would love this show. Everyone else would probably think it's alright. So, I mean, yeah, I would definitely recommend at least trying it out to see if you like it, because I would say the first episode gives a pretty good taste of what it's like. If you like that episode, highly recommend you go through the rest of the show, because it honestly gets better as it goes for the most part. This is probably one that you guys should have seen coming. Not only am I a big sitcom fan, comedy fan, especially when it comes to television shows, but Friends is just one of the most popular shows of all time. I think I've rewatched this only once, so I've only seen this show twice all the way through, but it almost can't get more classic than Friends. You know, I absolutely love the main ensemble, obviously. They're just so likable and amazing, great acting and funny. A lot of people rag on the laugh track in this show and say that it's not funny and that they use the laugh track to kind of cover up the fact that it's not actually funny. But I honestly disagree. This is honestly a very, very funny show. Absolutely love it. And it's not like a normal sitcom where, you know, there's kind of just episodes where, like Family Guy or something, there's kind of just episodes. They're hilarious episodes, but there aren't really like storylines. So this show has storylines. You know, there's romances, there's, you know, things of people getting jobs and doing certain things, and it has continuity as well as having funny, you know, cold opens and stuff like that. and it's just an amazing show. And through, I love the comedy, I love the romance, I love the drama parts of it, and it's just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, this is easily my #1 favorite show. This is easily my most rewatched show. I would probably be embarrassed with myself if I counted how many times I rewatched this, so I'm going to do myself a favor and not do that. I've rewatched this more than I like to admit. It's just that good. Same thing with Friends. I love sitcoms when it comes to TV shows, and this is one that I think is the best balance of comedy as well as dramatic and romantic sort of side plots and stuff like that. And I care for these characters so much, and I literally cannot describe how, like, the smile on my face was probably the biggest smile I've ever had when Jim and Pam finally got together the first time going through this show. It was absolutely unbelievable because, like, this show sets that relationship up so perfectly that right from the beginning, right from season 1, you're like, this Jim guy, he likes Pam, but she has a fiance, and you just want them to get together. And it's just, everything works so perfectly with this show. Michael's hilarious, Jim is hilarious, Dwight's hilarious, Creed is hilarious, Pam is amazing. Everyone is so good in this show, and it is infinitely rewatchable. By far the most rewatchable show ever for me. And yeah, if I'm going to make more TV videos, which I probably will, they will be about The Office, because I am by far the most passionate about this show than any other. So yeah, The Office easily comes in at #1. And that is going to do it for my top 5 favorite TV shows of all time. If you agree with any of my picks, definitely let me know down in the comments section. And also, if you don't agree, just let me know what shows you love in the comments section. If there are any shows that you think I might like based on my taste in television shows or even taste in movies, also let me know down in the comments section. But that is basically going to do it for this video, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.
You don't even try it. No matter what you say or what you do.